Hello, everybody. Today we are going to use OCENAUDIO in the context of creating narrations for training. And this is exactly what we're going to do right now. So in general, I created a presentation over here, and it has a little bit of a voiceover that I was supposed to use, kind of. But using OCENAUDIO, you'll see that we can achieve a result that doesn't sound anything like what you hear right now in the training, and you'll see how powerful this software is for training creation. Now, of course, there is a process involved, right? So it's going to be recording, editing, processing, exporting, and how to work with multiple files. And just let's go to OCENAUDIO, and we will begin with the very first thing, the recording. The recording is super basic, and unlike the professional DAW software for music producers, what you need from a narration software is for it to be super accessible. You want to press one button, and then you would want everything to be very easy for you to use, right? So here we go. When you click on the record button, it just asks you a couple of things. I like to record narrations in mono because why not? Those aren't just narrations. Also, it reduces the file size and makes my life a little bit simpler. So no fancy sample rates or multi-bands or resolutions like multi-bit, doesn't matter. And here we go. It starts recording immediately. And here I stop because, well, it started recording off screen. So here we deal with the editing. I can go with Control A and just delete the whole thing. So you might notice that as I progress with this thing, it actually would remind you a lot of Microsoft Word or any text editing software. And this is exactly what we need from it, right? So I'll go and make this a little bit more convenient for me to read. And as you see, I have a little script over here that we are going to use. Okay, this is not what I wanted to do, and I wanted to do this. Right. So let's cascade our windows. That's number one, and OCENAUDIO will be number two, and that's it. It's very easy, although I do have 3 screens, so it doesn't look like this when I operate it. It's even more convenient, but still pretty good. So let's start. When I'm going to hit the R button, it's going to start recording. So hello. Oh, sorry, I need to select the OCENAUDIO. Hello and welcome to the OCENAUDIO presentation. Here we will define the value of this software for instructional designers. The first thing to know, the installation is super easy, barely an inconvenience. A double click will get you there pretty fast. Okay, so as you noticed, my narration wasn't perfect, which is the whole idea. Now, I don't remember all of the shortcut keys for this, but we don't really mind. So the first thing that you will notice when I play it back to you, and welcome to the OCENAUDIO presentation. Here we will define the value of this software for instructional designers. The first thing to know, the installation is super easy. Okay, so as you see, there are some artifacts, and I'm not really happy with everything that happened in here, although I am experienced with this kind of thing, so I didn't make as many mistakes as I would do initially, but still, there is a lot of things to clean up. So the first thing you might notice that all of the audio peaks over here, they're just the audio representation here picks specific levels when I start a phrase, but when I end the phrase, it's just not the same. So I'm going to use an effect that's called normalization. Basically, I think it remembers all the recent ones that I use. So I will go with amplitude normalize, and it will say, well, normalize how? And here's an interesting thing. If you click on this button, it will show a representation of what it does right now. And if you change it, then you can see how it affects everything that you do before you apply the change. So I say, well, normalize to 100 database. I don't really want to do 100. I'll take 3. I'll just take 3 notes. So what you need to know about decibels, every 6 decibels is a double of the previous rate, right? So basically, if basically, let's say 60 or to 66 decibels sounds twice loud. But since our ears are working in not in a linear way, we don't feel it like this. But I like to reduce half of the maximum loudness just for it to sit properly. It's just a thing that you learn from audio, doesn't matter. Hello and welcome to the OCENAUDIO presentation. Here we will define the value of this software. Okay, so this is one thing. Let's try to a little bit like this. Hello and welcome to the OCENAUDIO presentation. Here we will define the value of this software for instructional designers. So as you see, there is also a turn-on effect bypass. So you can have an A/B test kind of on what you're doing, right? So if you want to see how different it is, and in the middle of there of the playback, I just did it. But also you can select just a portion of what you are trying to enhance, and it will just loop. The installation is super easy, barely an inconvenience. First thing to know, the installation is super easy, barely an inconvenience. First thing to know, the installation is super easy, barely an inconvenience. First thing to know, the installation is super easy, barely an inconvenience. All right, so I'm happy with the results, so I'll just go ahead and apply. Now, it applies to everything that I selected previously, right? So you might see that if I zoom out a little bit, since I was on a Control A setting, it applied the effects to the whole thing. So if I would like to apply it to only a specific portion of it, if something was captured properly, I would just go and select it. But first, let's deal with the artifacts. First of all, we have this silence over here, so I'll just go ahead and delete it. And now let's capture the ums and all the weird noises that I made. Hello and welcome to the OCENAUDIO presentation. Here, you see, here I made a little bit of a breathing sound. I don't really like it, and also I paused for just too long. So when I delete it, here we will define the value of this software for instructional designers. The Ocean. All right, so far so good. The first thing to know, the installation. As you see, there was like a non-word that I applied there intentionally. It's the word, so I just remove it. The first thing to know, the installation is super easy, barely an inconvenience. A double click will get you there pretty fast. All right, so you see on the end of it, it just says that the double click will get you there, and there are like a lot of mistakes in it. So instead of saying getting you there pretty fast, it just pauses a lot in this recording. So what I want to do, I want to remove this portion and record a new version of it. So let's decide where. We'll get you there pretty fast. A double click will get you. All right, so starting from the will get you. So I'm going to just delete this portion. And the fast is also I want to delete it. But let's say I don't know that I want to keep the word fast or not. Maybe I would like to use it. So I'll just delete everything in between from here to here. And this is where I'm going to record. So I'm going to say we'll get you there pretty fast. We'll get you there pretty. All right. We'll get you there pretty fast. We'll get you there pretty fast. All right, so we have this awkward silence in the middle, so I'm just going to delete it. As you see, it's like a lot of like word processor. A double click will get you there pretty fast. A double. All right, so now everything is good, but the fast is not really working for me, so I'm going to record the word fast, and delete the silence, the awkward silence in the middle. Let's see what we got. All right, this fast is not really good, so I'm going to fast. There we go. So I'm going to delete the previous one and replace it with this one. Pretty fast. Okay, sounds more or less like it. I know that the fast here is a little bit awkward, but remember, I'm recording a YouTube video, not a real presentation, which would be much, much more polished. But within seconds, as you see, we modified the audio and recorded it and replaced several parts of it. We normalized it. Now, there are more things to do. First of all, this, I just don't like the sound. It's not very instructional. Okay, so we'll go here and we'll go with the quantization and we'll choose the very, very simple 11-band graphic equalizer. And I'll boost just a little bit the bass frequencies. Let's see. Hello and welcome to the OCENAUDIO presentation. Here we will define the value of this software for instructional designers. The first thing to know, The installation is super easy, barely an inconvenience. A double click will get you there pretty fast. All right, let's give it another try. Hello and welcome to the OCENAUDIO presentation. Here we will define the value of this software for instructional designers. The first thing to know, the installation is super easy, barely an inconvenience. A double click will get you there pretty fast. Hello and welcome. All right. OCENAUDIO presentation. Here we will define the value of this software for instructional design. All right. So using this very minimal editing, I boosted the bass frequencies and just a little reduced a little bit of the high end, where all the weird noises just pop into existence, and I removed the gain just a little bit, just to compensate for whatever I amplified. So we'll just do an apply. As you see, the thing has changed. Here we will define the okay, and I hear a little bit of a noise, and believe me, if you don't have a professional microphone, there is going to be some noise. So we are going to go to noise reduction, and we'll just use automatic noise reduction. That's all you need. In 99% of the cases, that's all you need. Another variation would be, of course, selecting a sample of the noise and then removing this kind of noise from all of the audio that you have here. But believe me, the automatic one is enough. This is not a studio production of Beyonce album, right? This is something else. Hello and welcome to the OCENAUDIO presentation. Here we will define the value of this software for instructional design. All right, that sounds good. So for those that are not really sure about their voice or just want to play with it a little bit, there is another thing to do. It's a pitch, time and pitch adjust, right? So we can adjust the pitch in semitones. This way it sounds higher. I don't think this one, yeah, this one doesn't have a preview, so we'll have to use this preview.
Hello and welcome to the OCENAUDIO presentation.
This is how you hide your voice. By pressing Control Z, you just go to here. We will define the previous version. I'll select everything just once more, and I'll go to time and pitch, and I'll go just one. It's going to be one minus one semitone from the original. Never go too far from your original voice, because then it would sound funny with artifacts. But just one semitone. Here we will define the value of this software for instructional designers. The first thing to know, the installation is super easy, barely an inconvenience. And here we have it. So this is how it works. This is how you produce it. So once you figure that one out, let's say you are really happy with it, you just go ahead and save it. Okay, so I'll go with music, I don't know, and we'll call it slide number 1. Because slides have numbers, it's very convenient to just name the audio recordings per slide. So I'm just going to do just that. Now I need a new recording. Well, I'm going to go with the new Control N, right? And it's going to ask me practically the same question. And now I can go from to and from. So let's say I want to record whatever is on this slide. We do it really fast. So I'll go back to its original size. Oh, come on, I need to do it once more like this and select this thing. And we're going OCENAUDIO for training. What trainer needs from audio software? Recording, editing, processing, exporting, multi-file. All right, so this one went a little bit more smaller. But as you see, it's also very low in volume. OCENAUDIO for training. It goes from very loud to editing, processing, exporting, multi-file. That's it. We lost it, right? So we'll just go ahead and apply all of the effects using the same way. So we'll use the normalize effect. We'll use the noise reduction. And we can go with equalization and basically apply the same thing that already happened over here. So all of the customization is done. And the last thing is going to be time and pitch adjust using the same setting like we did before. And there it is. OCENAUDIO for training. What trainer needs from audio software? Recording, editing, processing, exporting, multi-file. All right, so I just need to amplify this one a little bit. So I'll select the one that I need. and I'll go to amplitude, and I'll say gain, and percent. Yeah, it's in percent, so probably something like that. Let's say apply and play. Probably I need to do once more. As you see, I can just go to effects and just repeat the effect chain. Exporting multi-file. There it is, all fixed. So now I'll just go ahead and save it as number 2. So as you see, once you established the first initial editing that you want, of course, you're using the same microphone, same software, computer, and everything. So from this point on, all of the effects that you have will be applied to any new recording that you do. So it streamlines it very fast. If I have a presentation like 60 slides, every one of them is like 1 or 2 minutes recording, I'm going to waste very little time beyond the very first slide. Very little. It's going to be just a correction of mistakes when I need to, removing some silence and saving. That's all there is to this process. Later, when you go to the software of your choosing for publishing the coursework, it will allow you to upload your slides and attach a voice file to it. So if you're one of your customers says, well, you know, I'm not really happy with what you did, let's change it just a little bit, you can change it immediately on your PC. It's simple as that, fast as that, and then re-upload the file. Some of the software, instructional design software, has a built-in recording feature, and those are never standing to the same standard on this one. Most of them don't have noise reduction. Most of them don't have editing capabilities, and you would have to say everything that you want to say in a perfect manner from start to finish for every single section of your course. So if you have a slide with like 3-minute narration, good luck with that without this kind of software. So this is why I like it. I did try to use other softwares for this purpose, but in terms of saving the files, which I call here multi-file function, it's the most convenient one, because every one of those is a separate file which I can access and edit wherever I please, instead of having like multiple tracks in a single project that I need to mute and unmute for every single occasion. Here, you just select whatever you want and just work with it. So imagine yourself when this list gets to like 60 or 100, how convenient it is compared to any other solution. Right, so this pretty much wraps this video. I hope you enjoyed what you've seen, and I'll see you in the next one.